Well, it's been a minute, and we're back. I'm alone this time. No friends, no loved ones. Just in a chaos of a toy room alone. But that's okay. It's here. We're here for a private Let's Talk moment. A couple of my thoughts and feelings I've had from after playing the last tournament in January, after playing a couple different things in the fall, and just some overall sight on the game from playing against other friends, teammates, casual, competitive match play. So let's get to it. Let's talk. This is my casual book report on Warcry. My pillow talk and my abilities to edit Google Slides, which I'm not proud of whatsoever. So I want to discuss stuff with you. Here's my visuals for you because it's the best you're going to get. And I know people want to see stuff, not just listen. Feel free to pause, whatever you need to do. It's what I feel is concerning. Problems I currently see in the game. This does not mean the game's bad. Does not mean it's dead. Does not mean it's unplayable. Does not need to be gutted. We don't need a new edition right away, although that'd be sweet, but that's not what I'm here for. Rather, it's problematic areas that I want to have a discussion with everybody with in a fixed setting, as opposed to just getting wild about it or just blowing up and having really crazy knee jerk takes on it. We have fabulous fun fixes, which I want to present some really cool ideas I had that I'm really excited to share. Typically, I stayed out of this part of the game. I was more focused on just playing and winning, that I didn't see the ability to create or harness an ability to kind of just tweak by what I know. So I just want to bring some more fun and flavorful things while maintaining, encouraging list building, stuff like that. And just kind of some adjustments in the end. We'll get into some maybe like soft point changes that I would do. Again, just to share some thoughts. Got some things in my head I want to get out. See how it feels. Talk to us. First off, give us a like, a follow, subscribe. I know we don't put out content on the regular as much as we used to, but 3H1C is very much still here. We're very much still playing. We just have a lot of life things going on. Spring gets kind of crazy, and we'll be in and out. I know we're going to be looking at Adepticon coming up soon. Two of us, I believe, are going there. Nova in the summer, which we'll be going to, and I might, depending on the timing, go to Warhammer World in September if they have it while I'm there in the beloved UK. So let's get into it, right? What are the problem areas? What does this mean, Dad? Dad, tell me that it's not bad. Tell me you're going to come back from the grocery store. Well, maybe. This is just an open discussion. And first and foremost, this is not gospel. This is not anything that's like what I say is completely right or not. It is, let's be honest. I do not play narrative. I don't play open. I don't play cool, fun, wacky rules. I'm not good at that aspect of the game. My teammates are way more creative and way more fun. They have a lot of experience in that stuff. All this is a culmination of months on TTS in real life tournaments, and these are my reflections, my observations, anecdotal evidence, conversations with other top competitive players from the Discord, and other things from my teammates, just musings and thoughts from other game players I've had. Right. So I'm going to keep rambling for a little bit. Feel free to pause. I don't want this to be too long. Kind of want it to be a little bit fun. I kind of want it to just be something that opens up discourse in a constructive, positive way, not a I'm right, you're wrong way. We'll go further into that as we go on. Now watch me ramble, right? Who are our antagonists here? What's the problems here, right? Well, it's that big BBO, and other miscellaneous profiles, but we'll get there at the end. BBO, also known as blessings, battle traits, and ogres. Anything I can to make some sort of reference, right? So let's go real quick into it. Blessings. It's the character name of this, right? Just blessings. That's all it is. There's nothing cooler in the world than enabling a wielder of the blade to have 3 attacks and make him crazy model for 200 points. You can pump up strength on Singri and make her this super hyper mobile archer, which I also think is a problem with ranged, but we'll get there. But I'm finding that blessings, as much as I was a big ardent fan of them, kind of feel a little bit strangleholding things. I recently did a tournament in January at a local. We had some great players there, so I brought a really strong list to try and combat. And I brought a Gut Lord, a Brute Boss, a Bolt Boy Boss, a bunch of chaff, right? I blessed the Gut Lord with an extra attack because, tee 4 attacks, 5-10. If it's in the game, we should play it if we want to, if our goal is winning, if that's our success criteria. If our goal is making friends and having a good time and enjoying it, not really a good success criteria. But it's an issue with blessings, right? And a lot of people, much more than myself, have kind of harkened on this. Is this good? It's just making the rich richer. It's making this much better. When really, there's a couple issues with it, and that's part of it is being able to bless something like that. Even if you nerfed a Gut Lord to be 320, I'll take 350 for 4 attacks at 510. On a double, I run 7. I reach out 9 inches total. We do all those things. That's wild, right? Like, that is absolutely low-key crazy. No, I'm not going to say low-key. It's high-key crazy, right? It's not fun. It's not creative. Not reinventing the wheel with it. It's effective in certain things. It keeps mid-range down into the ground. It's wild, right? Like these big 5-10 profiles. And we'll get to that, the ogre section, but this is blessings. Being able to bless that's wild. So what do we need to do to fix blessings, right? What do we think is the correct way or correct approach about this? Do we want to keep blessing ranged attacks like Pock and Slan Starmaster to have greater strength when they're pulling a bow so they get a better shot? Is this something that we feel is great? Should we be able to bless certain profiles? It gets kind of murky, right? I recommended in here, you can see the blessings need to be restricted to factions only, right? So if I'm building in Cruel Boys, I can only bless the Cruel Boy models that I'm picking. Now, that doesn't do anything to fix if I'm building in Ogres and I have 12 Nobblers and a Gut Lord. I could still bless the Gut Lord. Yes, that's still the issue of blessings, but it doesn't make it so I could bring a Gut Lord into anything else and just smack dab it, or bring a Mega Boss into Cruel Boys and just give it an extra strength so it's 4-6. It kind of keeps it a little bit more honest and fair with the suit metrics of things. It's not something that I've dived in and tested. These are just, again, talking points to get us going. Where else can we do it? Drop the strength. I like the fact that blessings felt like this optional, I got 15 points left over. Let's toss strength on my leader. Let's toss some extra wounds. But then we start seeing some crazy builds where I built a list that was, it was like a bunch of stab grots all blessed up. I think it was 8 stab grots blessed up with fortitude up to 10. And then I ran like a Gnash Tooth just to focus in-house, bless that strength up, run it in, mark it, use its double to deal up to 9 damage, make a swing, deal more damage, trigger the battle trait, deal more damage. Meanwhile, I just have a bunch of 60 point, 10 wound, 4 toughness guys that if you walk in, they're just going to get free reactions and swing on you. Sometimes it feels cool, but a lot of the point it's starting to feel abusive. But again, it enables things to be so much better, right? Like if we couldn't bless attack, Vexmore wouldn't be in a conversation as if it's problematic because you just have 1 die. If we couldn't bless attack, Wielder stays at 2 attacks. He's arguably not as effective. I'm not going to go into the mathematics side of things. That's not really where I approach things. My specialty is more list building towards missions and getting a million games in and grinding and figuring out new combinations for different packs and stuff like that. If you want mathematics, I know the Salty Sea, off meta, I'll have ways to measure algorithms and overall damage versus toughness, and they're awesome for that. I recommend go give them a listen, go dig through their stuff. Great people. But this is not where I want to be for that. This is just kind of like a general talk. Again, I'm going to repeat that a bunch. I think blessings are cool, but we got to kind of limit or change or adapt. I think they were created to just toss in and sprinkle, but they ended up creating a bigger stir. Maybe we just can't bless anything with a 4-8 or 5-10 profile. Sounds kind of okay. Maybe we can't bless out a faction. Sounds okay. A little bit more restrictions might go a longer way. That way we could still play with it in the confines of if I want to make a blessed gut lord, I have to do X, Y, and Z. But if I just can't bless a gut lord, then maybe I'm not going about that, and it opens up other things or forces other play. I do like that. There's a couple other fun ideas now. Rob, why are you focusing on gut lords so much? Currently, from playing, I feel like one of the best things I could be doing is bringing that model. Unless I'm aiming specifically for a mission that is objective heavy, I'm going to most likely be bringing that and just using it as a flying hammer that just runs in and removes things. If I'm rolling average on it, I'm not looking back, and you have to answer it if you don't have a net, if you don't have a way to res and keep it swarmed. Even then, I can kill on a double, move and swing again, or kill, double, swing, kill, and then just swing again on something else if I'm surrounded. I get its point back. It just controls the board just like a Vexmore does, but even more aggressive because it's got the same double. So it's wild. Excuse me, I've just got over a wild bout of flu in our household, so it's everyone's repairing. I might be pausing to cough. I like blessings. I like the initial update on them. I think we can go further from here. We can push it, have this conversation. I don't like hearing personally. We just got to get rid of it. Like we don't. We can work with things. I think just getting rid of it, having a knee-jerk reaction, doesn't make a better game. It just makes us temporary okay, puts a band-aid on something, and then we find the next problem. Cool idea. Let's just fix it. Let's move on. Where do we need to attack it from, right? Tell me in the comments. Tell me on Discord. Tell me. Have a talk with me, right? That's what this is about. Battle traits. Some of the coolest things ever put in the game. Give me a reason to stay in faction. Give me a reason to be involved in my theme cream. Make it feel good for me. I love it. And I'm an Iron Jaws player at heart. When I saw that the Iron Jaws were saying, you can't wait, I was like, holy cow. We played it at Nova last year in 24. It was absolutely wild. I never got a free movement out of it, but nobody waited. Completely warps the game in the way you can wait around them. Pretty sick. Very lopsided. One of the better battle traits. They're an amazing part of the game. That's such a cool way of interacting and giving you a reason to take something. But too bad, like 85% of them are dog shit. So like it stinks that like you have really easy misses on something that can be updated through a PDF. If you're worried about resource cost and allocation, GW, there's this thing called ChatGPT, Google Translator. We could just run it through there. And then, one of your editors that's chained to a desk, throw him on it, a couple hours of work, we're there. Pretty easy fix. I'll do it for free. Like, come on. It's a slam dunk. Take it. There's just so many more cool things I want to talk about this, and we'll go into depth on it, right? Because they did clarify it in the last fact with 2 different factions, and I absolutely love this part of the game, and I think it's such a great way without messing with stats or abilities or point adjustments to where you can just give a lot and get a lot out of it. It's so sick. So we're going to go into this on the fixes and stuff. I love this idea. I think it's some of the most fun in a game. It makes me want to play less souped stuff, as I say that as I ran a soup for my last tournament, to experiment and play and try to see what I could win with. There's a lot of cool things there, and please keep developing this. Don't give up on this idea. This is amazing. And our last one for the BBOs, ogres. How much girth is too much? It's all subjective, but I'm going to say 5'10 is pretty rough. Ogres have this issue where they have the best bigs and the best small, or the best talls and the best smalls. Salty C talked about it. Other people talked about it. You have these 45-point nobblers that lets you finance these big monsters and just running around. You could put an unreasonable amount of bodies on the board with killing power and still bless it and still do other things. And while that seems cool, it's not great. But the issue kind of relies one on 510 profile. I think it's an issue. Some people could say no, no, no. But if Exmoor was 4-8, y'all wouldn't be going crazy. Uh, Same thing with ogres. Like being 4-8 on a gut lord is way more of a, oh wow, that's really scary. He's gonna run out and crush me, but he's not gonna boxcar me for 20, right? That's a huge difference. And it's 4-8 still claps, but nowhere near like 5-10 for the cutoffs on things. On the Maw Path is an ability ogres have if they have the rune mark for it, where it's a double and you just get a flat +3. It's the same as Unrivaled Velocity and Lithe and Swift from these Miscellaneous boys and girls and everything. It's giving a ogre 4+3. That's 7 inches plus 2-inch range. That's a 9-inch threat projection for a double on a 510 profile. It invalidates a lot of things if they get initiative and set up and jam your army and have the option to remove or start up and then remove and fight for initiative the next turn, all for a double. It makes it absolutely crazy. And then they have Might Makes Right, which is Blood for the Blood God, or any of these other abilities you want to call, Shock and Awe. If they, it's Shock of Awe or Blazing Cleric, whatever. If they get a kill, they can spend a double, and on that double, they can make a bonus movement or another bonus attack. So all of a sudden, you're going like kill, double, kill, kill. It's really, really, really rough. Or you can go kill, move, swing, kill, put yourself in a better position. It gives them so much more reach. And I think that's fine for an ogre from a design point. I think it's cool. They're big. They want to kill and swing and keep moving. It makes sense. On the Maw Path, we can make it a triple, or we can strip it. Right? We can keep toys having our fun abilities, but a triple doesn't make it inconsequential. Now you're thinking, okay, do I want to spend so you roll a double and 4 singles for initiative, instead of it just being like, I'm going to make another double and just have everybody run like 7 inches, 11 inches total. Now it's, do I want to spend a triple to get there? Most likely, yeah, but then I don't have the initiative dice for next turn. There's more of a thinking process involved in it, and obviously it revolves around the reading the map and the battle plan and all these things. So that, in conjunction with 45-point Nobblers, feels pretty bad. It's just not a great time. We can do better. We can tweak, but something needs to be done, because a lot of these guys feel pretty crazy when you're trying to play your cool mid-range warband, and I show up and I scream 5-10 at you, and then you just remove a model and don't get to play the game. It feels really not fun. It's not intuitive. It warps the game. You need a plan for it. You need to build around it and answer that, or you're answering swarms, or you're answering something, but it's something you need to be cognizant of. It's definitely a little bit extra right now, and I think they can do a little bit better with it. They also have insane HP pools. So if you're stuck there fighting, you need to fight something big to get there, and you risk losing something big just getting there. It's wild, and a good player is going to position accordingly to punish you, and not take many risks with it, and kind of get max value. And if it's blessed with 4 dice, they don't have to onslaught it. If they're onslaughting it, they're really wanting to put something down into the grave. And it does so much work. Points-wise, it just does work. It's just fundamentally crazy right now. Let's keep it moving, right? These are the things. So, misc profiles and rant. There's a lot of text here. You may pause, you may read, and get upset by it. I'm going to sum it up. Basically, there's a lot of things here. I don't want to do too much, but it's part of what I've been noticing it. A lot of people talk about how elf profiles are just bad due to counter and being a victim of 1.0 to 2.0. Salty, off meta. I've discussed this quite a bit. Why are Arco Chaff 55 at 12 wounds, M3 with a ranged shot, and ghouls are 60 points with 8 wounds? Like, you're paying for speed, I get it, but it just feels terrible where I could jam 10 plus Arco pistols, have 120 wounds off them, and still, have 400 points to play around with. It's insane. Nobblers and Stabgrots, I'm a big Stabgrot guy. I love Cruel Boy Soup. But it's another problem. We're being able to finance crazy lists because I got 45 points and I could just soup whatever I want in and just be like, yep, boop, boop. Oh, by the way, it's not useless because if you move in on a Stabgrot, I'm gonna get a free swing from my Gutlord, or I get a free shot from my Hrothgorn, or I get a free swing from whatever else is there. It's fun, sort of, but it's also kind of just rough, right? And having this thing chaff that low leads to a body spam issue, which, trigger warning, this is my opinion. I've talked about this with Kyle, Great White Nope, Armor Enthusiast Mike, Peter, the Saint, all the guys on my team. We've talked about this from the start. This isn't from any recent events or anything, but it leads to a body problem, right? And hordes are great for having 10 plus bodies. We're in the horde range. It's great for countering these war bands that just want to run big hulking brutes. It's supposed to be the natural triangle or rock paper scissors shoot of it. But if you've ever played against 13 Asiarch Bone Reapers, and literally they're just going, wait. Okay, this guy uses the triple. Everybody moves an extra 3. We're going to move up 6. You're done moving. I move into my position. I'm playing the game by myself. It's solitaire. And I get it. Not every opponent is going to think like that or want to play that way. I'm mostly just grumpy because I don't like if I'm going to play a lot of bodies, I'll just play Big Hammer, or I'll play other things that have access to that. That's just my own complaint. It's nothing there. But having the ability to have, like I said, 10 Arco bodies for 55 points, we'll bring the old calculator up and see what's going on here. And that's 55 times 10, 550, right? I could have just done that in my head. I don't know why I did that. And then you have 450 points for the rest of your warband. Is bananas. Bringing in Annie Prime, put a company captain, whatever you want to do, you got it. And it's insane. It's tough, right? I want control and other things to be shifted to reliable abilities and reactions that impact the game quicker without the need to just say I counted above XYZ. I like the Feck reaction, the Ceos Castlight host reaction, as well as the dwarves. Cruel Boys, Monster Killers, Cruel Boys, Soulblight Gravelords, all have these really cool control piece reactions that make you think about how you're going to interact with them, and the bodies there offer a purpose without having too high of a bodies. The Feck and Soulblight being, Soulblight being the exempt from what I'm talking about because they usually get high bodies with these reactions. That's how they keep alive, but it's kind of just how the dead play, right? We kind of can understand that. Finally, I want to talk about Vexmore really fast because it's been continuously brought up in Discords and brought up by other people. It's a poopy piece to play for some people because they feel like it's cheating the game because it's a 510 profile, or it's so cheap, or XYZ, and they're not wrong, right? It's so ubiquitous, but people forget before Vexmore, Chaos had this issue of just Varangard, FOMO, Myrmidon, Spheranx in some cases, and that's what they were band-aided with. You can nerf Vexmore to 170, so after points it's 300, 200, and you're getting all this there, and it's pretty sick, but I'm still going to take it. It's still better objectively than 85% of the other pieces, and that's not just because of points, it's also because of the faction design. And I'm not going to go into faction design versus faction imbalance because those are two things. Imbalance for me, or balance in general for me, means points, stats, abilities, where the design is how it plays and the landscape and the feel of it. The design of Bespokes are very different than the design of current factions that we see, New Skaven, New Dark Oath, New Ruination Chamber, right? The design is there, and then you balance within that design framework. There's really nothing else that's great at this point cost. Like, why is a Chaos Chosen champion 210 points, but a Vexmore is 180? If you make the toys a little cheaper to play with, then we have something to talk about. That way we're not just taking toys away, because if you just nerf him, which you can, right? That's fair. You're just changing the Band-Aid. You're not really fixing the problem. The cut underneath is just the Grand Alliance, man, right? Like, look at my typo errors in here, right? That's how I was feeling passionate about this. Just dog shit older designed issues. Like, again, the new stuff designed is phenomenal, right? The old stuff, the old bespokes, are lacking so much because it was never kept up or intended to keep up with this design space. And that's okay. We're at where we're at. Let's work with it, not just bemoan it, which I'm going to do anyway. I'm going to do both, right? Because I can. And so can you if that's what you choose. Done talking about Vexmore. We can change his points. Talk about it later briefly, real fast. But in all honesty, he's also easy to play around. I've seen him do like 40 points of damage. I've seen him do 5 points of damage. It's 2 dice. It's swingy. He requires dice to get him anywhere to move. He can be played around with. I took a Gut Lord and killed him in an activation and then called it a day. So you could net him, call it a day. Have a plan. It's another big thing. Learning how to play in that. Go in our archives or our videos and go check out Counter's Corner, how to play against Vexmore. Offer a whole wide range of play into that. It's a lot of fun. And let's keep going. Battle traits. We're going to go quick here. I don't see the need to linger on long for any of this, but they're amazing. Iron Jaws, Night Haunt, Stormcast Eternals, Iron Golems, and a couple others have really phenomenal traits. There's also a lot of dog water, right? This can be fixed with the power of a PDF. Now, Games Workshop, not sure if you understand what that is. It's when you don't print a book with engraved printing with ink, and then you can change it online, and you use the book for lore and art and all the beauty that you all create, but then keeping up with rules, you can just edit a PDF online. Kind of wild concept. Y'all been doing it a little bit. Day one facts for your big hammer stuff. Why can't we get that here? This isn't that hard. It encourages theme cream, man. It encourages having someone say, I want to jump into Warcry. Let me get a Warcry box. Nothing feels worse than being like, I want to jump into Warcry and play these guys. So I got to buy like $200 worth of Castellite hosts, and I'm only going to use like a handful from each box. And then I can only really use it with this, and it just becomes kind of a heh. I love compendium teams. I mostly play compendium teams, but a lot of the players around me were AOS players, so they had compendium AOS stuff there. But some of them had Warcry boxes and said, hey, let's give it a shot. And when your Warcry box is accidentally a Monster Killer or a Vulcan Flameseekers, is that what it is? Yeah, Vulcan Flameseekers. It works out great for them. But when it's, I got these unmade, and that's sick, right? That's sick. Great pieces. They were used back in Slaves of Darkness. I wouldn't really recommend someone. It's like playing Surgeon and a Scalpel, and then somebody walks up and sneezes in your face, and then you're just done. Like, it's not great. It's playable. It's serviceable in an open environment. But yet again, coming from a match play competitive point of view, it struggles, and I want to see people play effectively what they love in-house. That makes it more fun for everybody, right? You're telling a story. You're getting more fun. So let's go. Boom. We're going to go run into it real quick. Pause, take a look at it. Really want you guys to give me some feedback on this. I thought some of this was really cool. I'm not married to it, but I love it. I think it's ways to just make things. Now, Daughters of Cain is not a bespoke faction, but it is notoriously a terrible elf faction. And although they have cheap chaff at 65, they have 8 wounds, low strength. They're reliant on a double called Bathe in Blood, yada, yada, yada. Go look it up on Warcry. Listen, all we have to do is change their battle trait to say, counter reaction cannot be used against friendly Daughters of Cain units. What? That's dope. I love it. I think it's fun. It gives the idea that they want to get in there and just fill it with blood, right? Just berserk in and not get countered, so we don't have to change their profiles and points, although we could change the points, right? Asgargan True Blades, Vampire, Monk, Ascetic, Samurais, sick. So sick. Some of the coolest models. The one wolf looks like a Digimon. I feel this in my soul. They are borderline unplayable. It sucks because as somebody's like, yo, I really want to pick them up. And I'm like, that's awesome. What do you want to do? Well, I want to be competitive. Okay, so what you're going to do is not that. They have a great leader, and I think after some like modification and changing things, it could be an insane leader, right? So their whole thing is denying themselves that thirst so they understand how to live and better themselves as warriors and not be like crazy vampires out in the woods. So submit to madness, right? They can permanently gain the beast rune mark, which means they can't use doors, which means they can't pick up treasure, and gain +2 attack dice. That's sick. It's simple. You're going to play what's in a box anyway, so you're not spamming like 10 of these boys, and they're not overbearing except for the channel mace and the glaive both have 2 attacks and a decent like strength profile and damage profile. This all of a sudden makes them crazy. Like you're like, whoa, I think they have like 15 health or something. You could take care of it, but it's dangerous and it offers a really cool play, and they kind of fade into the fantasy of losing that ability to control themselves. I kind of think that's awesome. I think the other one I had was, like Taste of Blood, where if they're damaged and whoever else they're fighting is damaged, they get plus attack dice because they're starting to get that vampiric like hunger back in and get amped. It's another good one. Claws of Karanak, some of the sickest models. Again, these two were in a box together. Coolest models, great lore. Royal diarrhea in the toilet, and you just can leave them on your workbench and paint them and have some cool units, and that's all you got. Blood in the Wind, right? Cock units can have +1 movement when moving towards injured enemy models, and you have +1 crit when fighting them. Simple. Give them a little bit more of a hot roll, make them blindingly fast. They worship Karanak, the weird flesh dog, and I don't know the lore for that. Sorry, Corn players. And they get the blood, they get intoxicated, they smell downwind, and they go and hunt. Cool. Yes, we could do that. They need a whole rework from the ground up, don't get me wrong, but why not start with something strong? Royal Beast Flayers, really strong, right? Andy from our Discord that played and won them in a Warhammer World, played them to success, and Kyle, one of the progenitors of the initial list, plays them to success, and they're awesome. You never run half the units except for ghouls, the leader, and a baron, so you're leaving your squires and your monkeys at home. The undead monkeys are sick, and they're really cool, and you never use them. Their current battle trait's stupid, and now you can just say, hey, the baboons count as 2, honestly, 3 bodies is fine towards pack tactics. So if they count as 3 bodies, all of a sudden 2 monkeys next to them are dealing 6 damage on a triple just for being next to them, and you can set it up with other pack tactics. Kind of really sick. Gives them an incentive to play. Makes a 1 box feel pretty good instead of having to just say, jam Wielder of the Blade in there and call it a day. Because honestly, Wielder is just much better than having 2 monkeys, right? Let's keep going. Unmade is Terrifying Visage. These dudes are really cool looking. They gain +1 attack when they're attacking a netted target because they all have nets. Additionally, if 2 or more friendly unmade models are near one enemy unit within 2 inches, reduce the enemy unit's toughness by 1. Why not? They're scared. You guys are crazy looking. They wear ripped off faces and cut their limbs off and attached hooks, and they're fast and they net you down. That's horrifying. Make it reflect. Older, not sold on the market anymore, but it's a beloved bespoke box from first edition, and they're really cool. Make these things playable. Gorger Maw Pack, 5 models, right? Not really going to see competitive play because they have the Beast Rune Mark. They can use a double for taking it so they could score and then it drops. Call it, I think it was called Moment of Clarity. Let's call it Moments of Clarity. If they're just within 8 inch of visible friendly clawback, they lose the Beast Rune Mark. Plain and simple. They see the person, their leader, they remember what they are. They're kind of like not fully there, but if they lose sight of them, they lose sight of what they are. Simple. They can be played into treasures. Scions of the Flame. Fire Samurais and Monks. Okay, cool. I'm sold, right? High crit natural stats on them. Mastery over Fire. Critical attacks, cleave, burn token. Deals 1 or 2 damage. Figure out the balance here. Not for me. Alternatively, set the land ablaze once per battle round, pick an objective, set it on fire, flat D3 to everybody at the end of the turn. Gives you a reason to run them, right? You want to run a thematic thing of all them instead of plugging a Vexmore in there? Give me a reason to run it. Please. This is kind of like Befoul the Land, but less rolling dice, and it's kind of cool. I think D3 is a little bit of random roll. It's not crazy. You're not nuking things off, but you're also finishing things off. I mean, it could be end of the turn, after scoring, before scoring, figure it out. Right? Order Vizier and Black Talons. Never got battle traits. Cool. So this one's easy. They all use triples. Wisdom of the Witch Hunter. If I don't want to be allying in Stormcast and doing other things, and you want me to play Saviors of Cinderfall and Hexbane's Hunters and have very middling mid-range guys with an amazing theme and crazy fun abilities, but have random dice variants on the rolls, give me a free wild dice at the beginning of round 1. I could bank it, spend it, do whatever I want. Give me a little help to use these high-powered abilities. Give me some tempo lead, because I have not a lot of things to do with them, that unless I get set up or find and then have to heavily invest into something. Rotmire Creed. Nurgle, super cool. Servants of the Leech Lord. Draw upon the strength from the diseased ground upon you that, gain 1 toughness when you're on objective and holding treasures. All of a sudden, your little 65-point dudes, 70-point dudes go to 5 toughness, 4 toughness. Your bloated ones go to 5 toughness, which they should be. It's Nurgle. They're supposed to be tough. And all of a sudden, you got some crazy stat lines. Will carrion catchers be good? I don't know, but they got cool shoes. So, that's a fair trade. Riverblades. These boxes were massively disappointing for a lot of people. They had cool models. They're not really competitively viable. They have cheap chaff. They have the ability to spam bodies. People love elves. Just make Riverblades on the double, deal 2 damage instead of 1. So all of a sudden you're getting kind of chunked as things are moving. So you're giving them this precision of water, running around, pinging things down, running in to counter, lock you down. Makes it way more fun than just being like 1 damage. 1 damage. Oh, sick, that 1 damage is going to really tower over this ogre at 75 health. So that's cool. See you later. I mean, and even against 6 wound things, 1 damage. At least 2 damage is I could run in there, roll the die, deal 2 damage, take a swing, crit you for 3, deal another 2 damage. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, these things are pretty decent with a double. Kind of fun, kind of cool. Black Talons, where's our battle traits? They're 5 models only. You need a real incentive to play them, other than having gorgeous units. So if I'm having 5 units, I'm really down to a real hard deployment. Sometimes I only get 1. I don't have the Stormcast trait to teleport. So let me, once per turn, either use a free reaction, the Shield of Vizier, or a free double Storm of Justice to move me around. Give me a little power. Bring me in. Great models. People will buy them. Pyregeists. He had 1 job, and it was not this. So I'm going to read this because this is aggressive. And I feel very passionately about it because Night Haunter sick. And I think the whole concept of this box of Riverblades versus them was awesome. Some great models. And they made them the equivalents of some smelly farts. And I don't like it. So literally anything to do to make the passive better. The token, right? Not this current thing where it's like wild dice on a chance that something on a chance happens. That's not fun. It's not fun. Let's call it Eternal Pyre. Pyre tokens can now stack damage. Whoa, that's crazy. And now they're 3 inches instead of 1 inch, so they can actually cover a point because they only run 8 bodies with 10 wounds, 12 wounds. So they're not very durable. They got some toughness, but 2 crits and it's just lights out from some units like a brute boss and other things like that. And literally anything that makes the passive better is a win. I wrote some not so nice things here because I was very, very butthurt and heartbroken that it's apparent that testing team, whoever tests the box, only tested it against each other. So they sat together and they go, cool, these boxes feel really strong. Awesome, high five. Let's go watch Sam and Frodo and the Shire make out. And Okay, I'm into it a little, but like, fix it. Fix it. This is not good. It's a PDF fix. Fix it. It's not good. It's not good, and people can't play with your new models. You know what sells models? Good rules. Good rules and great models sell, like great looking models, right? But if you want to sell and move Warcry stuff and give me the same 70 meat trees for a year and a half or whatever it was, fix your rules. I'll go back and buy the Askergan Nightmare, whatever, not Nightmare Quest, Blood Hunt. If you fix those rules right now, I'll be like, heck yeah, man. Like, that's where I choose to censor myself, right? Nah, man. Fix it. Be cool about it. More consistency things. Blades of Corn, Demons of Corn, right? When they die, they have the thing where they explode blood. Super cool, but they got to roll a dice to see what they explode. Like, just make them explode blood, just like the Scions of the Flame things. It's awesome. I want to run a bunch of Blood Reavers and send them in to just throw dice and then die and explode. That's so cool. Like, just fix it. Make it okay. Just take 2 words out. You don't even have to translate it that differently. Just delete 2 words. Easy fix. Strong incentives. Let people who want to play Warcry, not just Compendium, and have options to not fact things. Like Bone Split is like, reroll 1s on your initiative dice is like low key awesome. You're giving yourself more consistent, more doubles, triples, quads. Like, that's so cool, right? But now you can't find them, buy them, and they're almost out of print. You made some cool stuff. Like, come on, man, just soft changes. Packmaster to 75, right? Otherwise, when I was playing them and I was finding myself being able to run in, have a rat ogre go move, use a double, beat you down, almost kill you, if not kill you. And then if I don't kill you, the Packmaster is going to go move, use a double, make it swing again. So I moved 10 inches, swung 8 dice at 3-6, hitting on 3s most likely. Not fun. Then I take the Packmaster and I pin you into place. And then you kill it, and I get the Packmaster back at the end of round 2. So it did its job of causing my big boy to swing more and to sit there and just catch heat. Cool. All right. Nobbler, Stab Rots, Pot Grots, these little 45-point buggers, put them up to 50, 55 points, figure out the balance, make it more appropriate. Put Arcos up to 60. Like, let's start finding a way we want to do stuff here. Witch Elves, drop them to 60. Sisters of Slaughter to 70. Namarti Thralls, all right, we're getting an IDK rework this year. We've done a good job of putting new reworks into this game. Hats off to John. Hats off to whoever tests them. It is a phenomenal job of figuring out new play styles and adding new stuff in. Keep it up. Keep doing it. Doing a great job. But let's do it here. They're going to do an IDK rework, right? Namarti Thralls should not be 80, 65, 70. I know they got 2-inch reach. They're 3-4, 1-4. They got 8 wounds. They ain't that great. Namarti Reavers are 105. I could not give you a reason to play that. You could drop it to 85. I still wouldn't give you a reason to play it. They're garbage time units. Askergan Throat Takers. Both variants, right? Falchion and the Whip. Make them 80. Make them 80. Trueblade Exemplar. Trueblade Exemplar, 205. Drop it down to 200. We don't need that 5. I know this affects the box and the points of the box. Cool. Blessings. They exist. Battle traits. Make it better. People are going to have fun. Have a good time. Let people play toys. Keep going. Blood Whelps from the same box. We talked about them from Claws of Karnak. Drop them down to 80. Pack Alpha down to 200. It's the same thing as Untamed Beast, but with worse abilities. Crypt Ghouls. Put them to 55. No reason that they're 60 over the Royal Beast Flayer's 55 ghoul. Yeah, they have parlay, but it doesn't matter when there's a lot of 4-8 and 5-10 anyway. So, like, cool. Put me up. Help me up. Heroes, same thing. Like, I think Feck, give some soft love, dude. Let's see some stuff be opened up and played. Cortair, drop it down to 270. Decapitator to 160. Herald, clean it up at an even 150. Gore Warden, 210. Sick Model, Teleport, cool shenanigans. 225, way too expensive for T3, 20 wounds. Like, but now you make it 210. It's a little bit more appealing. Fits better with builds, other point adjustments. All Daughters of Cain heroes, fantastic heroes, fun, great models, sculpt still, fits a theme. Start shaving points off, right? This would be for like another time, a bigger rework or whatever it might be. Akellion King, my boy. Who is he anymore? When I first came into this game, it was like, whoa, 10-inch movement, storm of blows. Now you just be like, okay, and then? Okay, bye. Drop it down to 275, let it take a blessing. It's not played. Change it lower, whatever it might be. I don't care. Vex more, put them to 170. Everybody can say, hey, it's at 200 now. And then they could see that they still don't have options at that price range. And then they can start questioning more things of Chaos. What do you think? This is it. I mean, I have more stuff. I can make other videos. I just want to kind of go over some fun things. I see a lot of people talking. This is just a lot of stuff. This was supposed to be a smaller, shorter video. 3H1C does not deal well with brevity. I hope you enjoyed this. My apologies for my voice being a little groggy. The conclusion is, this game's still fun. There's tons of life in Meat on the Bones. Easy PDF updates. A new edition would be dope, but we don't need it just yet. But we do need some love here. This is coming from a comp perspective. If you like playing house rules, if you like playing open, narrative, 1.0 rules, silly, wacky rules, that's on you. Have fun. Make your own facts and play with your friends however you want to play. I'm okay with that. But as somebody who competes in TTS almost monthly, and somebody who competes in like almost every local they can get their hands on, this is just thoughts and ramblings. If we have no more product, because I don't know what's going on, there's no roadmap. We've had LVO, we've had some other things, we haven't seen anything. That's cool. I get you. The meat trees were a hard deal. But give us some quality updates like you've been. Give us a little more communication. Don't be afraid to fix things up and help us maintain a wonderful game without having the in-house things. FG2 missions have been out for almost a year. I was in love with them. Ask some other people. I still love Lightning Raid. It's time to retire them. We can rotate them in with other things. Let's make a pack now, a different pack. Let's make it 10 missions. We can have a lot more variety. Maybe 12 missions. I heard 12 is sick. 15 if you're Kyle. Yeah. So this is my review. Favorite part is I got to make fun of stuff. That's a big 5 stars for me. I am great. The end. If you want to disagree with me, feel free. If you want to agree with me, absolutely feel free. But let's keep enjoying the game. If you want to really get out there and show GW it's loved, run some tournaments. I don't care if you do wacky rules. Do whatever you want. Show people there's a place for it. Help support your community. Come online, play TTS League. We got comp and casual. Have a good time. Learn from some people. Make friends from around the world. This is still a good area we're in. But we can always do better. We can always improve ourselves, each other, and the games that we love. I got a White Dwarf subscription. I think I have a little bit more pull than 98% of the other humans in this world. And that's it. I'm going to have some more stuff coming out. How to counter Skaven, probably. Not sure when, but it's coming. It's on there. And please, like, subscribe, leave comments, find me. We'll put our Discord for All Heroes No Chaff up. It's a good time. You can talk to us directly, post up some of your tournaments, post up any of your artwork. Have a good time with us, talk to us, pick our brains. It's all love. You guys have a great day, and I hope this leaves you well here. Have a good day.